Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to week 3 in the 6-part series of Entrepreneur University on Alignable. Just to recap, in the last 2 weeks, we've discussed how to maximize your probability of achieving entrepreneurial success by pursuing ideas fueled by your passions and by laser focusing on uniquely solving problems for customers that your competitors either ignore or underserve. This week, we're going to discuss how to enhance the probability of success by forming unconventional strategic alliances with much larger companies. When I launched my last tech venture in 2007, I was under tremendous pressure to generate revenue since I couldn't afford to pay myself. I had a mortgage to pay, 2 car notes, grad school loans, and private school tuition for my daughters, who were 9 and 5 years old at the time. My strategy to jumpstart sales was to increase my visibility by joining and becoming actively involved with organizations who could get me in the room with lots of prospective customers. I didn't realize it at the time, but my business would be transformed through a chance meeting with an executive leader from the School District of Philadelphia at an event hosted by one of the organizations I joined. A follow-up one-on-one meeting with this executive leader led to me learning about an upcoming opportunity to provide technology support to the school district. Unfortunately, when the request for a proposal was finally released by the school district, one of the terms in the RFP precluded me from bidding as a prime contractor on the contract. Since I purchased all of my computer servers from Dell Computer, I reached out to my contact at Dell to see if they were aware of the school district opportunity and were planning to bid. At first, I was told by my contact that Dell wasn't planning on bidding on the opportunity. A few weeks later, I was told that they were going to bid, but that they planned to bid with one of my competitors. So having nothing to lose, I told my Dell contact that their decision would force me to partner with one of their competitors, which would ensure that they'd lose out on the opportunity to service the school district. It took several meetings with Dell, but they ultimately decided to reverse their initial decision and subsequently bid on the RFP with my company as their sole subcontractor. And a few weeks later, the RFP contract award was announced. Dell and my company were awarded a 5-year, $12.5 million contract to provide technology support services for the 13,000 employees and 197,000 students at the School District of Philadelphia. And we accomplished this achievement in our first year of business. As strange as this may sound, I give credit to my father for teaching me what I used to accomplish this feat. My father just happens to have spent his career in the Air Force, and the US military has elevated the use of game theory to an art form. If you're not familiar with game theory, it teaches you that winning isn't accomplished by playing a better game than your competitors, but by playing a different game than your competitors. In business, the use of game theory leads to success by forming unconventional strategic alliances with complementers, suppliers, customers, and even competitors. These unconventional strategic alliances allow you to transition from push selling or pushing your products or services on customers who are skeptical of your motives for selling to them, to pull selling or getting strategic alliance partners to feed you with a continuous supply of pre-qualified leads. So here's how every entrepreneur should approach the process of forming unconventional strategic alliances. First, think of the largest competitor in your industry. Now think how valuable your brand would become if you could list this company on your website as one of your strategic alliance partners. The only question you must answer now is, why would this company want to partner with you? Part of the answer is that your nimbleness as a small business makes it easy for you to react to opportunities much quicker than they can. What you do want to do is leverage that company's superior marketing budget to identify opportunities you can react to. What I'd like to do for the next 15 to 20 minutes is guide you through 2 to 3 discussions to help you understand how to use game theory in your respective businesses. I need 2 to 3 volunteers. So if you're willing to be a volunteer, please raise your hand digitally. Tell everyone what type of business you have.
I have a court reporting firm.
All right. So I want you to tell us what's a product or service that complements your product or service, and what's the name of the largest company you know offering this product or service?
Transcription services is a complementary business that I've been researching. There's a company called RAV that offers transcriptions, but again, the quality is not as well as using a live reporter. But that's a complementary business to my business.
Okay, so we'll use RAV as the example, but if there's a similar competitor to RAV that's much larger than RAV, that's the company you ultimately want to use. But for sake of argument, let's use RAV as an example, right?
Okay.
So if you could form a partnership with RAV, how would that improve how you solve problems for the customers you serve?
Well, then I could offer them an alternative, which is the AI to reporting, which is live. So if they could not either afford the live reporter, or they didn't need, let's say, the exactness or precision of the live court reporter, they could use the RAV AI, which, as I said, it complements me.
Okay.
Not as, again, I tell people, why use AI when you can have real intelligence, but it still does complement my business, actually, in the sense of time, more affordable, actually.
Okay. All right. So that's the complementer quadrant. If you recall, a couple slides ago, there was a picture with kind of your company in the center, and then there's 4 quadrants. So we've discussed the complementer quadrant. So we're going to move on now.
Okay.
So what's a product or service that you purchase from a supplier to help solve problems for the customers you serve? And what's the name of the largest company you know supplying this product or service?
So the largest competitor in that is Stenograph. Gotcha. There are only 2 main competitors. That's Eclipse, of which I have. I actually think it's a better machine and a better service, but I've also been with Stenograph. They're larger.
Okay.
So they're the largest in the business.
Okay. So we'll use Stenograph as an example.
Okay, and they supply, like, right? They apply the equipment. And now, thank you for the clarification. I was saying they supply equipment to court reporters. Yes.
Okay, so if you were to partner with Stenograph, how could that partnership improve how you solve problems for the customers you serve?
It's funny. It would directly solve problems for court reporters. For the customers, I could only say that you're getting a better quality machine. It doesn't mean that you're getting a better quality product. It's really the partnership would really be more with me and the reporters, which is something that, as far as from the supplier, they're very interested in, because that's who they sell it to. So if they have a wider network to be able to sell the machine up because of my reputation and my reporters using it, they could sell more. They could sell more machines.
And how would that benefit the court reporter? You said it would benefit so it would help Stenograph sell more machines, but would the court reporter get a better price?
Right. No, not just price. Yes, because then it's bulk, but the functionality actually of the machine. That's very important to us, how the machine functions. So we're always looking at, for example, the weight, which I was telling you, the other competitor, Eclipse, their machine is lighter.
Right.
It's very, it's compact. I have one. It's great. If you have to take it off your tripod in court, and the judge says, Mikhail, can you come up to the bench? It's very, I can just take it off. I can go right there. I can have the private conversation with him and not be cumbersome as far as, on when I'm up there. So in that sense, yeah, for reporting purposes, yeah, we definitely look for that all the time.
So it sounds like there would be speed efficiency gains by the court reporter, which would also mean they'd become more productive. Would that be a correct assumption?
That's correct. And they'd also, like you said, partnering with me in the sense of my outreach, not just to my own personal reporters, but to reporters in the industry that I'm subcontracting to, or when they're looking for work, I can also, which I've done for the company that I work with now, when particularly new reporters query what is the best software to use or equipment, I let them know, and why. Yeah, and that's for them is just perfect because, obviously they're making money, and then if they can do it in bulk, as opposed to selling one, 10, 20, yeah, then they give me a discount on that. And also coming with the computers that we use for real time, just so there's that added layer of selling the computer, real time, so we can do it live, so the individual can see it, is another component. They have a part. I'm assuming that they have a partnership with a computer company. For example, the company that I use has a partnership with Lenovo, and I get my computers at a very good price. So then thereby now Lenovo also is getting more customers because it's a package deal. You're just not getting the machine, you're buying also a computer with it.
Okay. And it sounds like because of the efficiencies that would be gained by the court reporter, if they can do more work in a shorter period of time, this then is a benefit that you can pass on to the customer because the court can get more work done. If the court reporter can get more transcription work done in a shorter period of time as a result of the efficiencies that they gain.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Jeff. Actually, that's correct as far as delivery.
Okay.
So being able to, even though there's a standard delivery, look, reporters, we're always backed up. I can just tell you that. And, we have people who help us, transcriptionists and proofreaders. I have a team, I have 6 people who help me get things out because that's how voluminous our work is. So absolutely being able to have your transcripts be timely is an issue we always face. And yes, you're absolutely right. Being able to have an absolutely stellar delivery, even if it's like 92%, that is something that attorneys always look at.
Right. Okay. So we got second quadrant covered, so we're going to move on. So I don't want you to tell us their name, but can you tell us what your largest customer does in their business? What type of business do they have?
My largest customer?
Yes. Don't need to know their name.
Yeah. No, they're lawyers. They do litigation.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Let's say,
Okay.
so whoever that is, and again, we don't need to know their name, how could a partnership with that law firm improve how you solve problems for other customers you serve?
Actually, I'm getting into something, and I don't want to expand on it too much because of actually your brilliance, but I've trademarked a new way to use court reporting. So how I could partner with law firms is to introduce how you can use court reporters. I'm going to just say out of the box to solve their, to increase their revenue by also decreasing their load of being able to, particularly smaller law firms that don't have the budget to hire a secretary to do their motions, to do their paperwork, their dictation. So I'm also sharing, part of my business by partnering with me. It's called Concierge Dream Reporting with the live reporters. Definitely, I can solve that. It's a 25-year dream in the making, and I can't wait. I can't wait to introduce that because I'm really excited about that. That's how I can help them. So I increase their revenue because I get rid of their backlog in a way that and also they don't have to pay someone full-time benefits because they are hiring my live reporters per diem. So they don't have to worry about all of the, having to give them a 401k, but because of our skill, which most people aren't even aware of what we do, they can literally have a turnaround, not just the same day, but they can have a turnaround in an hour.
Last quadrant, Michael.
Yes.
What's the name of the largest company you compete against?
In the reporting industry, Jeff,
Yeah.
to be specific. Yeah, it's Veritex. It's
okay.
Veritex.
So how could a partnership with Veritex improve how you solve problems for the customers you serve?
it was the original question in the beginning. One is just the efficiency that I have. I have a better caliber of reporters, and I'm just smaller. I'm more streamlined. I can give more of a direct one-on-one relationship with the clients as opposed to what they can do. They're really just like, an assembly line shop. So,
Okay.
but they're just larger. So like I said, they have 120 reporters. I don't have that kind of magnitude.
All right. So thank you, Michael. You can mute. Thanks
Okay,
for going
thank
through
you.
that. But
Thank
what
you.
I want you to take away from this is, as you look at this slide here, before we had this discussion, and you're thinking I have a court reporting company, and if you just look at, I'm competing against other court reporting companies who all they do is court reporting, you might beat them, you might not. But when you kind of replay the conversation we just had, and you start to look at, not only do we provide court reporting, but here are all the ways I could partner with specific larger companies in 4 specific quadrants that would improve the value that I bring to the customers I serve, my company has a much better chance of winning, right? So, Talitha, if you could do me a favor and unmute, please. Can you tell us what type of business you have?
I have a graphic design company.
Okay. All right. So with your company providing graphic design services, can you think of a company that offers a product or service that complements graphic design services? And if you can, what would be the name of the largest company providing those types of services?
I would say like Fast Signs, or some of these companies that sell promotional products like
Okay.
Fast Signs or 4imprint.
Okay. So how could a partnership with Fast Signs, for instance, improve how you solve problems for the customers you serve, providing web design services?
Because I could outsource some products that I'm not able to, I do the design, and then I would be able to bring my clientele to them and improve their business, and also be able to get my name out there with a larger company.
Okay. All right. And in providing web design services, think of the products and services you purchase, right, to provide those services. And think of a supplier that you use, and whoever the largest supplier is, who might that be?
Well, it's a service, really. The graphic design that I do is a service. So the only thing that I purchase for use of my services, I use Adobe Creative Cloud, which is a subscription service that I have to pay for monthly.
Yep.
But also offer some promotional items, so I'll have to outsource to various companies that provide those products as well.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe Vistaprint, or even the competition, you know what I'm saying? Trying to have like a partnership with them to kind of as a reseller.
Okay.
Would be beneficial.
So when let's say that it's Vistaprint, how could you partner with Vistaprint in a way that you would, improve how you solve problems for the customers you serve?
I would probably, if they could give me like a certain amount of a discount to bring order, like for instance, if I got a percentage off for each thing that I purchased,
Mm-hmm.
and I would be able to offer the same things that they offer, but at a lower cost to my clients.
Okay. Okay.
So that would be able to bring more their way as well as mine. We both would benefit.
All right. And again, I don't want you to tell us the name of the company, but think of your largest customer currently, and tell us what they do. What type of business do they have?
It's a luxury car dealership.
Okay. And so if you could partner with that luxury car dealership in some way, shape, or form, how would that improve how you solve problems for the customers you serve?
Because they're well known. I mean, it can help me to get my name out.
Okay. Okay. And then finally, who's the largest competitor that you have?
There is a printing company in my neighborhood. but they're larger scale. They've been around for probably twice as long as I've been on Earth.
Okay.
So they're established.
And how could a partnership with that company improve how you solve problems for the customers you serve?
I'd be able to offer more to my clients and also be able to, when I have to outsource something,
Mhm.
not knowing what the quality is, I don't sell anything that I don't know is going to be high quality. So them being, local, I could actually go in and sample their products and know what I'm selling to my clients as well.
Right. So thank you very much. I'm going to go back to the slide. So again, when you're looking at your business, think about the partnerships that we've just talked about in these 4 quadrants. What these partnerships are allowing you to do competitively is look much bigger than you are, because you can provide more services, a broader range of services at better pricing. You can gain marketing benefits, you've mentioned. So there are a variety of ways that, you actually begin to look like a much bigger, player than you actually are, which is great because, people will begin to give you more business. You will actually get bigger. And then you can begin to do all of these things on your own. You can begin to bring a lot of this stuff in-house, right? So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Claudette, can you unmute?
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
All is well.
So we know from talking to you before, you're in the financial services arena, but if you
Yep.
want to really quickly be a little more specific about what you do with then financial services.
Okay, so I'm with World Financial Group and I am a broker dealer. So we are a full service brokerage house. So I'm able to help clients on various topics from any form of insurance, disability, to buy-sell agreements, annuities that I am appropriately licensed for.
Okay, sounds good.
For.
Okay, sounds good. Can you think of a product or service that complements the product or service you provide customers? And then what would be the name of the largest company that would provide those complementary services?
Sure, there's several actually. CPA bookkeepers, of course. A CPA bookkeeper, you help them, organize their money, and then when they have all this extra cash after you got them on track, sending them to me helps me then take them to the next level. So I'm the perfect value add, as well as those in the real estate mortgage market, because you've just helped them make one of their biggest sales, and of course their biggest concern is what happens to everything they've done if something happens to me. So that's another value add. And then also, I'll just leave it at those 2 for right now. There's others. The name is large spigot company would be, off the top of my head for realtors would be Keller Williams, and for CPA, what's a big CPA firm? Price Waterhouse.
Okay. So whether it be Keller Williams or Price Waterhouse, and it actually can be both, how would a partnership with either of these or both of these organizations improve how you solve problems for the customers you serve currently?
So for example, if I have a customer who's really, especially if the customer is a business owner or small or medium business owner, and they really just need help with maintaining their books and keeping them on track, a CPA would be a perfect value. Or if I have clients that are looking to purchase or looking to refinance in their mortgage, I can connect them to them saying, here's someone who I know would serve, work well with them and help them out.
Okay. And so what's a product or service that you purchase, providing the services you provide to the customers you service now? And what would be the name of the largest supplier that you purchase from for whatever the product or service you purchase?
So I'm a broker dealer. So I actually am a marketing distributor for some of the largest investment as well as insurance companies in the United States.
Okay.
So I market and distribute their services. So the largest would be Anywhere. On the annuity side, it would be Jackson for variable. For or Athene for fixed and indexed, or for life, anywhere from Nationwide to Prudential. Any of them would be the largest companies, and we work with them closely. So, yeah.
Okay. So let's take, say, Prudential as an example. How could a partnership with Prudential improve how you solve problems for customers you serve?
So the value to what we bring is that we are not a captive broker. We don't work with just one vendor. We work with a multitude of vendors. So we're able to shop the market for that service that best complements or supply or answers the needs of my customer.
Mhm.
So if Prudential has a so for example, they have a particular product. So if you have someone that maybe have a build issue,
Right.
then Prudential would be where I would go, knowing that they have they would look at that differently. Or if I had a client that had certain serious medical conditions that would otherwise get them declined, I would go to John Hancock. So
Right.
because of the partnership I have with these suppliers, I'm able to shop the market for that solution that's tailored to that client's needs. And within the stable of who I work with, there truly is somebody that can help them.
Okay. So I don't need to know their name, but if you think of who your largest current customer is, what type of business are they in?
That would be when he owns his own mechanic. He owns his own auto mechanic shop.
Okay. And so if you were to partner with this auto mechanic business owner, how would that help you solve problems for your customers that you serve now?
So then on a referral basis, knowing that he's very diligent, the type of partnership we would have is that and he's located in New York City,
Mhm.
and a good auto mechanic is like having a good doctor. They're gold. And so I would refer, said, listen, might be a trek, but this guy's going to do right by you. He's going to not, scam you or, tell you he fixed something and, daggone well, he didn't. So that would make a great way, because everybody has a car and everybody's looking to get their car serviced properly and not being taken advantage of because they just say, my car broke.
Mhm.
Which is
Yeah.
like, well, it don't work, fix it.
Right. All right. And finally, what's the name of the largest company you compete against?
If I have a customer that could only do a particular type of term policy and they needed one that was very long, this particular partnership would be able to give me that because they have one of the longest term policies that are out there.
Okay.
Not competitive, but they have one. And for some clients, when they do need that advantage, it would be useful.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. So that's it. I'm gonna try to get as close to a question and answer as possible. But I want to thank everybody that's volunteered to go through this little exercise. So before we get to question and answers, I want to thank everyone for carving out an hour on Monday evening to participate in this third session of Entrepreneur University Onlineable. Hopefully you can join me again next Monday evening, where I'm going to discuss how successful entrepreneurs infuse world-class customer service into their operations to build trusting relationships with existing customers to transform them into long-term brand evangelists. So with the time we have left, I'd like to answer whatever questions anyone has about what we've covered tonight.
Sure. I have a question. I'm very familiar with the gaming theory. For some of us, it's like the way you set up a game. I was doing that for a while. I'm something of a gamer. And it's all about, getting that badge, that prize, that blue dot, if you're a Peloton, the blue dot, getting that blue dot, and what you have to do to get that, it's like, I got that. And then it just motivates you to keep doing that. So help me, tie in the exercise with that idea of gaming theory, because I think that's for someone like me who's very task oriented, and when I
Mhm.
have tasks, I'm more focused than when I kind of don't.
Yeah. So it's really the difference between, a finite and an infinite game, right? So most people most entrepreneurs approach business thinking it's a finite game. It's not. It's an infinite game. It never ends, right? So because they approach it as a finite game, um, their goal is to win, and then
Mm,
they assume the game is over. Unfortunately, the game keeps going. So if you want to be a better competitor, you play the infinite game. So you understand that the game never ends. So winning once isn't good enough. That you have to figure out, how do I sustain my business so that I can consistently win, over time, for as long as I have my business. It's not about winning once. So it's not, you're in essence, you're trying to win a war, but the war consists of multiple battles. Most people assume we won a battle, and so we won. And it's no, we're in war. One battle is just one battle. So when companies that understand that business and competition is an infinite game, try to figure out, how do I add more value to the customers I serve? And the way you do that isn't by trying to do what you do better per se. It's by doing better at what you do, by aligning with unconventional partners that
mm,
allow you to add value in ways most people wouldn't think you would add value.
mm,
Most people wouldn't think of, partnering with a competitor. They would say, "Oh, why would I do that?" But there are ways you can. So again, I go back to, my example with my IT firm. I partnered with Dell Computer. Dell Computer was in the information technology industry. I had a cloud computing company. I'm in the information technology industry, but Dell was a multi-billion-dollar company. And in my first year of business, we did $150,000 in annual revenue, right? So I viewed Dell as a competitor. They did not view me as a competitor. There's nothing I could do that would ever scare Dell at all. you know. Um, but what I was able to do, which no other small business had ever done for Dell, was bring business to Dell. And I know that because Dell told me that. They're like, we don't have small business partner. We use small business partners because it's actually, they understood it's more efficient for you to do the work than for us to do the work. You don't pay your people as much as we pay our people. Your people are hungrier than our people are. So they're more efficient, so they do whatever work needs to be done faster, more efficiently, and at less cost. So there's actually a benefit, Dell was saying to me, for us to partner with small companies. Most small companies don't understand, because they haven't worked in a big business. So they don't understand how inefficient big businesses are. But big businesses start as small businesses, and they build into big businesses. So people that work at big companies understand what it was like when they were small, and they understand how much more efficient they were. They can remain efficient through technology in a lot of cases as they get big, but you lose a lot of drive, right? So you're not naturally as efficient as you were when you were smaller. So again, they understand that small businesses don't play to that, which is why they tend not to partner with big businesses. And they're also afraid of approaching these big businesses because they're like, oh my God, why would they partner with me? Not realizing you have some natural advantages that they understand you have, and so if you actually approach them, well, first of all, you have a 50% chance of hearing yes, as well as 50% chance of hearing no. But if you never approached them, it's 100% chance of hearing no. But you actually increase your chances of hearing yes if you understand why they'd want to partner with you, and just the fact that you are bold enough to approach them, because most small businesses are not going to approach larger competitors. So so that's really where you gain from this exchange. And as I said, Dell didn't view us as a competitor. And so what I also did was I made, I started to build alliances with people at the School District of Philadelphia so that I understood when opportunities were going to become available. And then because of the relationships I built at the school district, I gave myself a higher probability of actually winning an opportunity because I had inside information that other competitors didn't have. So I knew how to respond. Not only did I respond, I knew how to respond to get the right outcome. And over time, I was able to convince Dell that, because of those relationships and the access to information that I had gotten, that I stood a better chance of winning, and they stood a better chance of winning by partnering with me. And that's exactly what ended up happening, right? So hopefully I answered your question. I apologize if I did not.
No, you did. That made perfect sense. I understand like the correlation between the two and how having those strategic partners kind of change them into and what that does for you and building that building your sphere of influence.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yep.
Jeff
Anyone
and
else?
Victor, I wanted to just pause for a moment because before we leave, I want to find out how many of you are new to the Black-owned business by raising the hand. Great. I want to welcome those of you who are new. I am the founder of the Black-owned business group, and I love that you guys are coming on and that you're joining and that you're participating and learning. And I just want to invite you to come back. Thank you, Jeff and Victor, for putting this on. But I wanted to make sure that that you guys did not leave without me welcoming you and asking you to please connect with other members as well on the group and join. We have a number of great events such as this one. Jeff has 3 more of these events to go. We have several events. Welcome again. I'm Dr. Nola Bize. I'm the founder. Please connect.
I had something, Jeff, if you don't mind, just real quick.
Sure, absolutely.
First of all, I wanted to say, because we had a little conversation before I got in these groups, and I really appreciate what you told me then and listening to you now. I can see you're pretty consistent, which is one of the things I look for with any sort of relationship I build, right? Consistency. If you're one way on Monday, another way on Tuesday, I might not want to deal with you, right? But one of the things that, and listen to what you were just saying, I had a big company reach out to me. Mm. And I didn't ask them why they reached out to me, but I was kind of listening to what you were saying before. And when the phone call came and the ask for a meeting came, I stood in front of CEOs and that's what I do. I'm an IT project manager by trade. So right. I'm used to asking for $10 million for a project. It's not a big deal for me, right? But when it's your own thing, it's a little different.
Yeah.
But because of what you said, I was able to stand there in that meeting and talk to these people who are out west in the United States who are moving into the Midwest, and they want to resell my services as part of their packages now.
Yeah.
So that was a big deal for me. I don't know. We still have some paperwork to look through and some things to dot some I's, cross some T's, but just the fact that I was able to have that conversation, I wanted to give you a lot of credit for that, because after listening to you and talking to you, you gave me the kind of, well, why not? Right. Why not me, right? So
yeah.
And I would say that to anybody, you're never gonna, one day you're gonna have to knock Mike Tyson out to be the champ.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. You're gonna have to knock Mike out to be the champ. Right. So, at some point you got to stand in there and take a swing, and you never know what's going to happen. So I'm real happy about this. So hopefully everything goes well, and I'll let you know what happens.
Yeah. Well, I wish you the best of luck on that. I'm sure it will happen. But as you go through that, when it does happen, what I want you to think about is how much easier those sales that are going to come through that relationship are going to be versus having to make those sales on your own, cold calling or whatever your existing process is. I mean, we still have to do that, but if you can supplement, the stuff that you do proactively with, partners that can, provide you with pre-qualified leads. Again, when those opportunities come to you, my guess is, because they've already vetted you, they know what you do, they know how you add value. They're going to be able to sell your services for you. They'll be able to, really tee everything up so that by the time that opportunity comes to you, all you're going to have to do is actually execute or deliver the goods or services. You're not going to have to negotiate with them on, they'll already know what your rates are. They'll know what you do. They'll know, how what you do adds value. They'll understand how that's quantified, and they'll be able to apply that to their business. So they'll understand, hey, if I work with you, I'm going to generate X in savings, or my revenue is going to increase by Y, whatever the case may be. And again, I mean, these are the easiest sales we can ever make. So, congratulations for the opportunity. I know it might be premature, but I know it's going to happen. So,
Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
When it does, come back and let everybody know, what you were able to accomplish.
All right. Thank you.
Mansoor has a question in the chat. He says, if you have more than one competitor, how do you decide to partner with which one? And the same question with suppliers.
Yeah. So Mansoor, you can, and this is for everybody, you don't have to limit this to one relationship. I mean, the beauty of this is the more relationships you have, the stronger you are. So when you look at that, that one chart I showed with the 4 quadrants of, complementers, suppliers, customers, and competitors, I mean, if you could have 100, strategic alliances with the, companies in each of those quadrants, I mean, that just makes you that stronger. I mean, it's, so if you have a fact sheet, or whatever we want to call it, qualification sheet that you provide someone that says, hey, this is my company, this is what I do, this is who I am, this is what I do, right? The more relationships that you can list on that, as well as on your website, to say, hey, I'm doing, and Mansoor, off the top of my head, I don't know what your business does, so excuse me, but let's assume, one of the examples today was financial services. If I can list on my website, I have relationships with, Deloitte Consulting, I have relationships with Merrill Lynch, I have relationships with, Prudential Insurance, I have, and it's just, the list goes on and on. The more relationships you have, the better, your perceived value is to people who would consider doing business with you. So it doesn't have to just be one. You should try to get as many relationships and as many strategic alliance partnerships as possible.
I do want to say something briefly. Jeffrey, what you said about your partnerships can make you look like a bigger company. My company looks like a bigger company. Now, we have a lot of revenue, but because we are aligned with very large companies, including the state of California and the state of Massachusetts. So my company looks large. It's only 5 of us.
Yeah.
Because of the revenue, because of the contracts that we have. So you're absolutely right. The right partnership will make you look big, and you attract bigger companies to do business with you. So we attract a lot of other big companies thinking that we're a big company because of who we're aligned with. So you're absolutely correct. Alliance makes a difference.
And I'm sure what happens with you, because it used to happen to me with my IT company all the time, is, you're having coffee with someone, or lunch or breakfast with someone, and you're just, they're talking, they start talking, asking you about your company, and, oh, how many people do you have? And you meant, oh, well, I have 5 people. What? And you look at their face and they're like, 5 people? How in the world do you do what you do with 5 people? Like, hey, I have relationships with other companies that allow me to look bigger than I am. And that's a good thing.
Yeah, and they provide. Some of my clients who are big, they also provide services so that we look a lot bigger than we actually are. Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's the classic example of, so we all, we decide to launch a company in a particular industry. and then you do research as you're writing your business plan, let's say, and you come up with, usually you're going to want to benchmark against the biggest, competitor out there. So you find the 20,000 pound gorilla and you're researching their website and you see, oh my God, they have, 100 services that they offer. And I can only provide one because it's just me, but if you could partner with that company, you can provide 100 services too. You can provide services through them, so.
Absolutely. I think I forgot the name of the person you were talking to the first time. One of the things, a partnership that he could make are with companies that provide translation. One of my clients is a translation and interpretation, and they do that for legal services, for lawyers, for anybody in the legal field. So that's a good partnership as well.
So that was McKeel Williams. So McKeel,
Yeah, so think about that. Yeah.
Sounds like you need to reach out to Dr. Nola and connect. So, all right. Well, if we don't have any more questions, I want to again thank everyone for. I know evening time is precious because you could be with family and friends. So I really appreciate you give me an hour of your time and I hope you join. I hope you got a lot out of tonight, and I hope you join me again next week. And hope probably in about 2 days you'll be able to see the replay of this because because you might want to see some of the slides more carefully, and so that we'll post that. And so anyway, thank you again, and hopefully, as I said, I'll see you again next week. This time next week.
And thank you guys, the ones who are new, for joining us. Please come, and we have a host of different events. Please join our events. I thank you and appreciate you for joining the Black-owned business. Refer people and be active. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you.